So I want to talk about selling a script today. And there's nothing more important to a lot of writers, a lot of television producers than selling a script. When I have people come in, they oftentimes will have an amazing project, may have a lot of pitch materials put together for it already. But what they've got basically is a great script. And they want to get that script to people. They want to get it to production companies. They want to get it to distributors. They want to get it to film finance companies. How do you get a script out there? And I think a good way to think about this is actually, how do you get your first script out there? Because when you are dealing with film, dealing with television, big agencies, they love people with track record. So, you can come in with a project which has, you may have already sold a couple of scripts, you may be known for writing, known for directing. And of course, at that point, then you can be, you can give William Morris Endeavor a call, you can call CAA, and they're going to take your call because they're going to be interested in working with somebody who's got a track record of, doing great projects. But if you're a first-time filmmaker or a first-time television producer, then selling a script is a lot more difficult. Important things to remember about scripts: you already know it's a great script, you've had people read it, maybe you've had coverage for it, maybe you've had a lot of great feedback, people, even actors, directors, etc., who have expressed interest in the script. But you need to figure out a way to get it to the people who can take it the next step, whether that be getting it to distributors, whether that be getting it to networks, whether getting it to finance companies, supposing that you want to be more involved as a producer and not just a writer. The first step is to start working on basically finding out where you want it to go. You probably have an idea of the big name companies. You say, well, I want to go to Warner Brothers. I want to go to Sony. Of course, everybody wants that. But, those companies are huge. They're a big bureaucracy. They've got a lot of people working for them. And, Sony Pictures is different than Columbia Pictures, is different than Sony Home Video. So then, which place, exactly where do you want to go with the project? Because if you don't know where you're going to go with it, it's hard to frame your pitch for the project. So once you figure out where you want to go, then it's time to start figuring out how to make contacts. Now, there are going to be people who have, and you might be one of them, that has some industry contacts already. You know an actor or an agent, and you might say, well, we can give them a call, and they're going to be interested in taking a look at the project, and they can make those introductions. So that's great. If you don't have contacts already, if you don't have a place where you can go with it, or if you do have contacts, but you want to extend the network of people that you can reach, then, a great thing to do is work with an entertainment attorney. So an entertainment attorney is able to basically introduce your project to entirely new companies, entirely new networks, distributors, than you may already have contacts with. And the reason for that goes back to a lot of different legal reasons, but it goes back to this issue of copyright and copyright protection, and also fear that a lot of the studios and production companies have, that when they receive a submission, an unsolicited submission, right? So that's the word, an unsolicited submission, that they're going to have a problem because it's going to be a case of, okay, this writer says they submitted this, but we don't have record of that, or we're saying we don't have record of that. And so then all of a sudden it's like two people that are kind of, both of them saying, well, I didn't steal this script, and the other person says, well, no, but I submitted this, and this other project is so similar. And so then there gets to be a liability issue. And that's really what you see being the reason for the no unsolicited material rule at a lot of places, even at agencies, which is weird because until recently they weren't producing projects, and so they really shouldn't have been a problem. But they still have adopted the same thing, no unsolicited materials. So when you get to that situation, you've got, a great project, you want to get it to, you've already gone through the people that you know, the contacts that you've worked with, and you want to get it to another group of production companies, another group of distributors, maybe film financiers. Then when we work with clients, we're able to basically come in, represent the project. So we're providing representation just the same way that an agent would do it, just the same way that a manager would do it. And we're saying, okay, we're representing this project, and when we submit it, they recognize who we are. They know that we've submitted other stuff in the past that's, good quality, that's going to be something close to what they're looking for, hopefully. And they also know that from a practical standpoint, that all the materials that are being submitted are being documented. Now, that's something that writers want too. And that's what's always interesting to me, is that, really in a lot of ways, the writers and the studios and the production companies, they want the same thing. They want to make sure that the materials are documented, that you know exactly what was submitted, when it was submitted, who submitted it, where they submitted it to. And so we document all those things as a law firm, as a third party. We keep track of all of that. And so when we send it somewhere, everybody knows who got it. And if later, in 2 or 3 years from now, there's a feature film that's identical to the script that was submitted, well, we have all the evidence, we have all the records, we know exactly what happened. Now, the studios think of it the other way. They say, okay, look, we're covered, right? The studio is saying we're covered because we have this submission, and somebody else besides the writer knows what was submitted, when it was submitted, and so if we know that this was submitted on, in August of 2019, and this was, a particular action film, and we know as a studio that we were working on this since 2017, and we have the documentation of that, then they feel that then protects them because they have this documentation of what was submitted, when it was submitted. And so that's like the core of representation, and that's also the core of why they have the rules about no unsolicited materials. So when it gets back to getting the project out there, you need a great script, you need the promotional materials to go with it, you need, the pitch materials, the pitch book, the poster, the graphics, the things that make it look like a movie. It helps people to imagine, hey, this is something real. That this is more than just on paper. A lot of times people are super busy, and so they don't have a chance to read a script, which even if you read really fast, it's going to take you 2 hours to get through. If you have the the materials with it, they can look at it, hey, this looks good, this looks like the kind of stuff that we do. And that's when I got back to that whole issue of making sure that when you're submitting it somewhere, it's the type of material that they want, right? Because you want to make it be as efficient as possible, and they want the same thing. Because what they want to see great stuff. They actually want to find a really good script. They really want to have a really great teleplay. They would like to be able to find the perfect thing for their project, whether it's an acquisitions person, whether it's a VP, to be able to say, hey, look, I brought this great project in. But then there's like the mountain of stuff, right? And they get this mountain of scripts, or now it's, an inbox, right, of full of all these emails, all these PDFs. And it's like, well, which ones do we look at? So if you target it, if you give them something to look at really quick so they can figure out what it is and that it matches the sort of stuff they've done before, and then you submit it through representation, like our firm, or like an agency, a known agency or a known management company, so they feel protected as far as the submission goes, and you're protected as well as the writer or the producer of it, then it's going to work. And we've been very successful in getting projects out. You can visit our website, www.filmtvlaw.com. You can check out a huge library of articles that I've published over the years. Check me out on IMDb under Brandon Blake. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.